Hello and welcome to another edition of Bible Time. Today we're coming to the conclusion of the book of Joshua. We're looking at chapters 23 and 24, the last words of Joshua. And last words are always significant. You can think of the last words of Christ to his disciples in the upper room the night before he was crucified and how critical those words are. You can think of the last words of Paul to Timothy in 2 Timothy. Significant words. And here you have the last words of a great leader, this man Joshua. Chapter 23 kind of calls the leaders of Israel together to give them a final charge. And he gives them words of encouragement and he gives them words of warning. And this is what you see over and over again. We saw Moses do the same thing right before he died. Encouragement, talking about blessings, as well as warnings about what happens if you depart from the Lord. And so kind of the three charges that he gives them here, you can see in verse 6, charge number 1 is keep God's word. Therefore be very strong to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, turning aside from it neither to the right hand nor to the left. Keep God's word. That's his charge to the leaders. Verse 8, the second part of the charge is cling. Keep and cling, but you shall cling to the Lord your God, just as you have done to this day. Keep his word, cling to him. And then summed up in verse 11, the one last charge, be very careful, be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God. So keep, cling, and love. And love, like we said, is a true-hearted loyalty to God. He's charging them to stay true to God and don't drift away. Great words from one leader to the following leaders. And then in chapter 24, it's all the people of Israel. They all get together there at Shechem, a significant place. And Joshua gives this final charge to all the people. And he reminds them of what God has done for them. He reminds them that God chose Abraham. In fact, he says God chose Abraham out of idolatry, which is exactly what he's done for you as a Christian too. He chose you. He called you out of your idolatry. God also delivered Israel, delivered them out of Egypt. God guided Israel from Egypt into the promised land, and God gave them the land. That's the little history lesson that Joshua provides for the people there. And then here's the conclusion, verse 14. Therefore, fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in faithfulness. Based on all that God has done for you, which I've just reminded you of, here's what you need to do. You need to fear him and put away all the false gods. And if that's not okay with you, then decide who you are going to serve. And then he says at the end of verse 15, those well-known words, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Now, these are remarkable words. These are words worth taking note of. Joshua was a great leader, and he knew how to speak to the people. I mean, he gave great words to the leaders. Now he's speaking to all the people. And by means of a reminder, by means of a command, the command to fear the Lord, and then by the example of his own life, Joshua shows them the way to go. And then it's kind of interesting how the people respond. They go, yeah, we're all with it, Joshua. We're going to follow the Lord. And he goes, nah, I don't think you are, because God's holy, and I don't think you guys quite get that. No. We're going to cling to the Lord. And Joshua says, okay, then put away your foreign gods. And notice it doesn't say that that's what they did. They just repeat the, we're going to be loyal to God thing. And Joshua kind of senses their insincerity, I think. And he even rolls out a rock and says, hey, this rock is a witness to everything that you guys just said. I just want you to remember that. Because what Joshua feared is going to become the reality. And all we're going to have to do is turn the page and go to the book of Judges to see that, no, they didn't do what they said they were going to do that day with Joshua. Now, a kind of a key thing. And, when you go through the Bible, you're looking for themes. You're wanting to understand the whole thing. Like we've said here, the book of Joshua, the first 12 chapters were about the conquering of the land. And then 13 through 22 was the dividing of the land, all according to God's plan and God's promise. And then these last two chapters are kind of the farewell address of Joshua. So you're wanting to follow the theme of the book, which is to conquer and divide. That's what they've been doing. We've seen it work out. Joshua is now putting a cap on the whole thing here. So you're looking for themes like that. You're following it through. You're not yanking things out of context. And then you're looking for key words, significant words, typically words that are repeated. And in verses 14, after he gives the history lesson of all that God has done, and he starts exhorting them on what they're to do in light of what God has done, then from verse 14 through verse 33, you see the word serve used 17 times. Now you see a word like that is repeated that many times, you need to sit up and take attention. Pay attention to that, because that's what he's calling them to do. Based on what God has done, this is what you must do. This is the right response. Serve him with all your heart. Serve him with loyalty. Serve him in an undivided way. Serve him 17 times. That word is used. So that's as we come to the end of the book of Joshua and we hear the words of this great leader and we see the example of his life. The question you have to ask is, who are you going to serve today? And I would encourage you to think carefully about that. Don't give a quick answer like the people did, and don't say you're going to do something that you're not going to do. Who are you going to serve today? And is your day today going to show that you have a loyal love for the Lord? That's a great lesson that we learn from Joshua, this great leader. What a great message it is, and what a strong word of encouragement and challenge it is for us as we face our day today. I'm thankful for this word, and I pray that it'll encourage and strengthen you as well. So we've come to the end of the book of Joshua. Tomorrow, as we continue Bible time, we're going to go into the book of Judges, and I look forward to seeing you then for more Bible time.